Okay, so I recently purchased one of these UA Audio Stomp pedals, and I'm basically having some issues with it, which is why I'm doing this video. And if you're not familiar with the Stomp, it's UA's, I guess, version of what they call speaker emulators. Very similar to IRs that folks use, but UA claims their version is far more accurate. And how it works is you can store what they call rigs. You can store 6 rigs on here. So maybe rig number 1 might be 4x12 speakers, and rig number 2 could be 2x12s, and 3 could be 1x12s, and so on and so forth. And there's 2 mic adjustments. You can have dynamic mics, condenser mics, ribbon mics. There's also a room mic, and obviously there's the volume and all that. And the way it's supposed to work is if you want to override anything on here, let's say you want to replace your cabinets that are maybe they're greenback 25s with what do they call them, vintage 30 speakers, you have to use the app. And the app is, you can download that onto your I guess iPhone, your Android phone, or your iPad. And which therein lies my issue. My issue is I can't get the Bluetooth to sync between my iPad and the Stomp. Sometimes it works, but most of the time it does not work. The way it's supposed to work is you basically turn this on and it goes through its boot process. And if it syncs, there'd be a little solid blue light down on the bottom here, which I don't know if you can see. So this would be solid blue. Then if I had my iPad and if that was syncing, I would go to, I would be able to see that under my Bluetooth settings. And I don't know if you can see any of this, but it lists all the Bluetooth devices, and it would show the aux Stomp box, and it would say connected. And then once it's connected, if I went back to the app, I should be able to press this, open it, and see everything that's inside it in case I want to make any adjustments to my rigs. And as I said, maybe 1 out of, I don't know, 20, 30 tries, it actually does work. Most of the time, it does not. And I don't know if it's either a user error, meaning it's me doing something wrong, B, an issue with my iPad, or C, an issue with the Stomp box. Now I can tell you, I don't have any other syncing, I guess, Bluetooth issues with any of my other devices using this iPad. For example, I have the 2 notes, and every time I have that on, the Bluetooth syncs right up, and I could get right into, I think 2 Notes calls it their Wall of Sound app. I can get right into that and use it. I can sync, as I am right now, sync this to my Tascam Model 12. It just works. This is a whole different story. And I tried different things. So first I made sure I checked to see if my operating system was the latest on my iPad. And for this particular iPad, which I'll admit is an old iPad, I think it's a Air 2. I've had it for quite a while. However, it's still doing updates, and it's updated to iOS 15.8. Now, according to UA Audio, anything above iOS 13 should work. So I should be okay with that. Next, I tried to see if there was a desktop version, because I thought, well, maybe the Bluetooth on my iPad just isn't working. I have a fairly new Mac computer, so maybe let me see if they have a desktop version. I'll try that. Well, UA Audio doesn't offer a desktop version. You basically have to get the app. The third thing I tried was I went to my Samsung phone and thought, well, maybe I'll try this with Android. And unfortunately, it wouldn't download the app for my Android phone because it said I don't have the latest version of Android. Well, turns out Samsung decided that my 2018 phone was too old and they wanted me to buy a new one, I guess. They don't support any of the latest versions of Android on here. They stopped that, like, I think maybe 2 years ago was the last update. And I'm not about to get a new phone, you know, just for just to use the stomp box. So the last thing I did is I went to UA Audio's user forum to see if other people had similar issues. And I actually found quite a number of folks were complaining over the last couple of weeks that they were having problems with Bluetooth. And, you know, I put down my issue and I got all sorts of crazy advice. You know, folks saying, well, maybe clear out your cache or whatever the heck it's called, which I tried doing that. Somebody else suggested I adjust the auto shut off, you know, where your iPad is, you're not using it for 10 minutes and it automatically shuts that off. I tried that. I tried everything. I tried, you know, click your heels 3 times, say 2 or 3 Hail Marys, turn your lights off, spin around a couple times, then turn it on, see if that works. That didn't work either. But bottom line is I'm having an issue. And I've tried just about everything. So what I'll do next is, if you're still around, I'll try to demo this for you, so you can see what I'm experiencing. It may actually work, because sometimes it does. But I'll try to show that to you. Okay, so now I'm going to try to demonstrate this issue. Now, it may actually work, as I said. Sometimes it does. You know, maybe when it has a good night's sleep and it feels well rested. Like yesterday, I turned it on and it worked right away. But most of the time it does not, or sometimes it's working. I'm in the app and then I want to go back to this, what they call home. It's in the left-hand corner. If I had the app open, you would see it in the left-hand corner. I click home, which brings you to what they call tiles. Like if you had multiple UA boxes, I can't remember all the names of them. They got a handful of them now. You would see the apps for those. Now I happen to just have one box, so I just see one app. But if I go back to the home and I try to go back in it again, I have the same problem. So I wrote down here on a list here, and I'll just got to refer to it, all the different scenarios that I've experienced. So scenario 1 is, sorry, go down here, everything works. I turn this, I plug this in rather, it goes through its boot process. The little blue light becomes solid blue. I go into my iPad and I look under Bluetooth and I see this device, I see it's connected. I open up the app, I click the tile here, and I'm in it. And I'm able to, you know, play around, make the adjustments, change amps around, speakers around, change the reverb settings, the mic settings, and it works great, by the way. It's a really good device when it works. So that's the ideal scenario. Scenario number 2 is, which I kind of mentioned just before, I'm in it, and then I get out of it. Maybe I shut the app off to go into another app, or I go back to this, I think they call it UAFX control panel. I go back to the control panel and I go back in it and it won't open. So that's scenario number 2. The other scenarios, let's see, I'll just, as I said, I wrote them down here. The iPad says it's connected to the aux, but the aux blue light isn't lit. And obviously I can't open it then, which is weird. So the iPad, when you're in the Bluetooth and it lists all your Bluetooth devices, it says it's connected, but the light's not on and I can't get into it. Scenario number 4 is iPad says it's connected. Oh, blue light is on, solid blue, but I can't open the app. Scenario number 5 is iPad says it's not connected, but the blue light is lit solid, and obviously I can't get into the app then. Scenario number 6, iPad says it's not connected. aux light is off. And what else? Oh, then I push the pair button. That's the other thing they suggest you do. If you're having an issue, you press this little button down here. It will blink a bunch of times, and you try to reconnect, and if it gets solid blue, you're connecting. Well, I'll push that again to try to connect. It'll just keep blinking, and it will give up. And sometimes I'll get a message down here to tell me to try different things. Like one suggestion was, I guess reboot the app. Another one was go into your Bluetooth settings, and maybe I'll show you again. I don't know if you can even see this, but if I had this on here right now, you would press the app, and on the iPad, in this corner, it says forget device. So in other words, you kind of start all over again. I've tried that as well with no luck. The only thing I have sometimes had luck with, how the heck do I get back? There we go. Sometimes I've had luck with completely shutting my iPad off. Not just going into sleep where you shut it off at night, but where you hold the button where it literally has to reboot. Sometimes that's worked. So those are all the different scenarios. So now let's see what happens. As I said, this may actually work. So I'm going to plug this in. And you're going to see the blue light go solid for a minute, but that's because it's going through its boot process. Here it's kind of booting up. And I still don't see anything here. So it's still booting. I don't have any blue light on here right now. Okay, so now it's ready to use. There's nothing here. There's no, again, I don't know if you can see this. The last thing I can see is my torpedo cab, but I can't see this. I have no blue solid light. I'm turned on. Now just for the heck of it, I'll go to the app. UA Audio FX. There it is. It's got that little thing going across. Let me tap it. Nothing. So this is my frustration. So it's not doing anything. So now let me, just for the heck of it, I'll try to do what they call pair. There's a little button under here. You press it and hold it, if I can get to it. Let me see, it's tough to get to. There it goes. So it's flashing. I think you might be able to see that. It's flashing, it's trying to look for it. And if it goes solid blue, it found it. If it goes dark, then we don't have any luck. And if this takes too long, I may have to speed up this tape. It's still flashing. Let me go back to my Bluetooth settings. Again, there's nothing here. Now sometimes I see it here, and it's just not connecting. As I said earlier, that's one of my scenarios. Still blinking here. Let's try unplugging it. Plug it back in. It goes solid. It's doing its reboot. And still doing its reboot. Give it another second here. There we go. Now this is ready to use, but nothing. So yeah, so this is the issue. Now the other issue is, and I don't necessarily know if it's an issue with this device or because I can't get into the app to make adjustments. But when I'm changing these rigs around, some of them are, very, very quiet where I can hardly hear them. Like rig number 1, I think I have 4x12s. That's nice and loud. But then I go to rig number 2 and it's very, very low, you know, and each one is like different. Now it could be because the settings in the app for the mics and all are not adjusted properly. Again, I can't get into this. I haven't been able to get into this since yesterday afternoon. It could be that, or it could be an issue with this device. So I'll demo that for you next if you're still there. Okay, so I'm going to show you a little demo of the other issue that I'm having, and that's the issue where when I switch between rigs, some rigs are louder than others, and very noticeable. And again, it may have nothing to do with the aux itself. It could be within the app, which I can't get access to, that I need to make adjustments that I would, you know, send over to here. But I guess first, before I go through that, I'll just talk about my setup here. I'm using my Gibson SG that I got in 1978 when I was 15 years old. This was my very first electric guitar. And that's going through my Marshall amp. This is a JMP 50-watt combo amp that I got in 1980, I think it was. And I'm not sure if it's model 2203 or 04. I get them mixed up. One's supposed to be the 50 watt, the other one's supposed to be the 100 watt. And how I have that set up, I have all the tone knobs are in the middle. I have the master, it looks like it's on about 4. And then I have the preamp on 7. So this amp, you know, it's a Marshall. It gives you that crunchy rock and roll sound. And then from there, I'm going to a 2-notes torpedo capture, which is basically a load box. And for folks that don't know about load box, it's really to prevent your amp, especially a tube amp, from blowing out. So I'm not using the speaker on here. The load box is becoming the speaker. Otherwise, if this wasn't on here, I could blow this out and maybe even do damage to this if I'm sending it in directly. So that's my setup there. And then from there, I have, you know, obviously that's going into the aux. And then I'm just using the mono out of the aux. I'm not in stereo. That's all going to my Tascam Model 12. I have some reverb on there. So if you do hear this on stereo, if you have headphones on, it's not so much because of this. It's because of the Tascam. So with all that, so let me just show you, you know, my issue. I think the first rig, if I remember, when the app was working, I think it's a 4x12. I can't remember what type of speakers are in there or even what type of effects are on. I may have a little reverb on there as well. But anyway, this is how it sounds. So anyway, pretty decent level, right? Now let me go to rig number 2. What the heck? So you understand my issue. Now if I adjust this mic a little bit, it will pick up in volume. Hear that little bump up? But still, nothing compared to rig 1. So now we'll go over to rig number 3. Same thing. Let me turn the master volume. Master volume is pegged. Mic 2 is pegged. Mic 3 is pegged. Now let me go back to rig 1, and I got the issue with all the other rigs, so I don't need to show you that. Go back to rig 1. So there we go, we're back. We're back in business again. So that's my issue, or my 2 issues, the Bluetooth not connecting and the inconsistency with the rigs and the volume. So I think my next step, I haven't done this yet, I just got this a couple days ago. I'm going to call my rep. I got this through Sweetwater, and my rep is very, very good, and we'll talk about it. Maybe he has some suggestions, or maybe some of you folks watching this may have suggestions. Otherwise, I really think I got a sick ox. I may have to send this ox back to the farm, and I'll let you know again what I do with that. And maybe I really want this to work because I've seen the YouTube videos. I know it works for most people, but I do know some other people are having similar issues. But I think I'll send it back, and maybe I'll get a new one in a couple months if they can iron out this issue. Otherwise, yeah, let me know what you think, and thanks for watching. Take care. Alrighty, just a quick update here. I did contact Sweetwater and talk to one of their technical support folks who was very good and did everything you'd expect. He asked me if I had the latest firmware on the Stomp pedal, which I do, and he asked me what version of iOS I had on my iPad, so I told him that, and based on everything I told him and all the steps that I took, he agreed that it probably should be working, and thought, well, yeah, maybe I have a defective device, which, yeah, it happens, Universal Audio, I will say, they're a very good company, and I know most people that do have, at least looking at the internet, have this device, do not have any issues with it, but some folks do. You may have the Bluetooth issue like I do, which is why I did this video. So, you're not alone out there. Misery likes company. So where we left it off was he was going to contact some of his folks over at Universal Audio, see what they had to say. I'm going to hold on to the device for a few more days and wait for him to get back to me. And I guess if I have any updates, I'll update it in the description below for this video. Otherwise, once I do resolve the issue, or if I end up getting a new one and everything's working great, I'll do another video, a quick video, just to show that to everyone. And again, thanks for watching, and hopefully not too many of you folks out there have this issue. Take care.